Thank you for being part of Dynamic Dive this Saturday morning, and it's a wonderful day. Today is the first Saturday in the month of March. The first quarter is gradually going to an end, and that is why we're here to make your Saturday morning a delightful one, as we have always been doing. I am Niyi Omotensi, and of course, I'm here with my ever radiant and exciting and always smiling Folashade. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's good to have you join us today on Dynamic Diet on the Nigerian Television Authority. Like he said, we have a lot of package for you, so we urge you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. And of course, our first port of call for the program today.
Today we're going to look at wildlife preservation. Monday precisely was the day that the UN set aside for preservation of life, and we're going to have a short report on the people's perspective, experts talking about the importance of this year's celebration. And that is also linking us to today's weekly mirror segment.
As we are protecting the animals, the wildlife,
animals,
we should protect
plants
ourselves
and rest. So we're going to look at how to preserve human lives also.
Security is very paramount.
Yes, protection of lives and property.
Yes.
And so that's why we're going to take on our weekly mirror segment this morning, security situations in Ondo State. And we already have our guest that will be with us. He's the best person that could speak about it for now in Ondo State, because he is the public relations officer of the Nigerian Police Force in Ondo State. So issues concerning security, you're going to hear from him this morning when it's time for him to come up.
Yes, not forgetting our entertainment segment by Tolu Animi. She's able and ready to give you amazing things happening in the entertainment world.
There are lots of gist in the entertainment world, and Tolu Animi will be bringing all this one to us. And of course,
the sports segment. It brings the world together.
There are lots of activities during the week, from different leagues, championship, premiership, and many other national leagues across the world. And we're going to bring you some highlights of that to spice up your weekend this morning. So on that note, we want to say please enjoy every bit of our program this morning, because we're going to ensure that everything that we put together is for your own viewing pleasure. Right now, we're going to take very first feature about preservation of wildlife, and that is why we are going to take this. Please sit back and enjoy.
The United Nations Annual Wildlife Day, observed every March 3rd, highlights the importance of wildlife to both people and the planet. This year's celebration emphasized medicinal and aromatic plants, promoting the conservation of heritage and livelihoods, and highlighting the critical role these plants play in human health, cultural preservation, and local economies.
It is very, very timely, it's very, very relevant, it's very, very important, it's very, very significant, if I can put it that way, because most of the time people think that when we are talking about wildlife day or wildlife generally, we are talking of animals alone. But you could see what they are doing this year. They are taking us beyond animals. They are even telling us that yes, plants are also part of wildlife. And they are not even talking of any form of plants. I think we have different kinds of plants, but they are saying medicinal plants and aromatic plants. That makes it very, very unique. That makes it very, very significant. So to me, I think it's a very, 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 very good and very, very important that we should have that consciousness.
Experts stress that protecting wildlife goes beyond saving animals, noting it also helps safeguard livelihoods, boost tourism, strengthen food security, and preserve cultural traditions.
Over the years, we have seen that the human activities had affected both flora and fauna of the world. And especially this year, the theme has to do with medicinal, with flora, which is the plants. And so, because all our activities that had to do with destroying vegetation, destroying animals, and doing all manner of activities that has affected plants and animals, but especially the plants this year. So that's why the theme is now coming up, that we should conserve the plant species. And over time, these days, we have discovered that the plants are actually medicinal. And the medicinal properties of plants is very, very useful and very, very germane to our sustenance. And that is why the United Nations came up with the theme this year that we should, about medicinal plants and the need for us to conserve the plants.
It's a collective effort. You know, government, when we look at it, is the father of all. If it's to be mother, the headache will be too much. We put blame on government, but it is individual, all of us individually. We have a lot to do concerning the conservation of plants, medicinal plants and aromatic plants that benefit, that serve as the basis of life for humans. So every one of us, for our own, we conserve whatever we have in our environment. People now, you know, when they want to build, construct houses, what they do is to remove everything, okay? And they will remove the native vegetation that are very important to our health, and also plant all those what we call it, the foreign plants, you know, that are not what we call the plants, those ones that we plant that beautify, they plant trees that beautify the environment rather than planting trees that can help and serve as medicines for us and also protect our environment.
As the world marks Wildlife Day, citizens are urged to support conservation efforts, avoid illegal wildlife products, and adopt sustainable environmental practices to ensure healthier planet. Nta.
You're welcome. It's the program Dynamic Diet on the Nigerian Television Authority Channel Nta Akure Dynamic Station, in case you're just joining us. And for those that have been with us, we told you that after that feature about preservation of wildlife, and you know, this year the focus is not all about animals alone, but also plants, aromatic plants, and also herbal plants. We are talking about all these ones, and that is leading us to our weekly mirror segment this morning, where we're going to talk about security of human lives and property. And that is why we're taking the topic, the security situation in Ondo State. And we have with us in the studio the Police Public Relations Officer of the Ondo State Command, in person of Mr. Abayomi Jimo. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Well, let us start on the note of your general review of the security situation in Ondo State.
Well, first of all, I will give glory to God. In Ondo State Police Command, under the leadership of CP Adeboale Lawal, PSC Daga MNIPS, we have enjoyed relative peace in the command, and the peace we have been enjoying is a testament to the effort we have put in place. So the CP, upon his assumption of duty in July, around July 2025, did criminal analysis of the state, which sectorized it into three. We have the Ondo South, we have the Ondo Central, and the Ondo North. So upon this criminal analysis, it gives a true picture of how crime patterns take place in the state. And for example, in the Ondo South, we have crimes that are bordering on indecent assaults or sexually related crimes and the waterways crimes. Of course, you know that the Ondo South is the coastal areas of the state, and he has also made efforts and deployed security apparatus to that axis. And for the Ondo Central, you agree with me that it is the economic hub of the state, where we have the metropolis. So the kind of crimes are city-based crimes, like the burglary and stealing, cultism, and some other crimes. With the effort of the CP also, so that we have been able to nip the menace of these crimes in the bud. And to the biggest part of it all is the Ondo North. So you will agree with me that the Ondo North has a very unique environmental factor, and this includes the the forest and the mangrove reserves that we have there, alongside the mountainous nature of that place, and also the accessibility of the region to other neighboring states like the Osun State, the Kwara, the Ekiti, Edo State, and I think I guess Osun State, Ekiti State. And I mentioned Edo State.
Yes.
Edo State. So the proliferation of bushes and forests around that side has also made crimes prevalent around that axis. So the analysis I spoke about earlier has really helped the CP, Commissioner of Police, CP Adebo Lawal, to put in strategies that will combat crimes and criminalities around that area. And part of the effort is the deployment of additional manpower and security apparatus to that axis. And thankfully, we have been seeing results, and we are not complacent. So we are still working.
Okay, so recently the community and residents of Ondo State have been experiencing issues ranging from armed robbery to kidnapping, and even the residents, they are just expressing their concern about their safety. So what's the police command doing to reassure the public that you are doing something? So
like I said earlier, the command is not just being reactive to incident. We are ever proactive, and that is why upon the assumption of the CPE, already put every measures on ground to ensure that we combat crimes and criminalities in Ondo State. The testament to that is the fact that we have our highways and our metros really fortified. So the perpetrators of these crimes most at times go for the soft targets. They go for soft targets that have their houses or their engagement in bush parts or isolated areas. But notwithstanding, the command is working with other security agencies to ensure that we extend our tentacles to that axis, and the result has been coming forth, which you would see in some of our press releases that we made in recent times about our successes and achievements. And also all the good people and residents of Ondo State that to remain calm, go about their lawful activities. The command is doing everything in its capacity to ensure that we combat crimes and criminalities in all the areas of Ondo State.
Let me talk about one of the most nagging security challenges in recent time, the issue of kidnapping and the rest. Like you said, that we have some parts that are endemic to certain crimes. And I know that last week the state commander of the police have just gave us some information about some of those criminals that were arrested. How are you intensifying efforts in this regard?
The Ondo State Police Command is not complacent at all. We are ever ready to discharge our duties as enshrined by the law, and that is why we have always added additional. In fact, we also add additional manpower from the force headquarters. That was sometimes around January, immediately after the incident we had in Ipili. So we had additional manpower from the force headquarters. That's the men from the police mobile force. We have also had another brand new APC that is located in Owo. Aside that, we have men that are operating covertly and overtly in those axes. We have the SID, the ones we call SID, the State Investigative Intelligence Department. So they are out there gathering informations, gathering intelligence to combat these crimes and criminalities. They are, in fact, you may not even know them, that you may not know that they are there. They go on plain clothes. They are also sometimes they disguise as motorcycle riders, they disguise as cab drivers, just for intelligence gathering purpose. A testament to that is the arrest the press statement we made yesterday upon the arrest of 4 suspected kidnappers which were involved in the violent attack that happened at Liberty Avenue in Iluabo. So the command is ever ready, and we have deployed all our men. And just last two weeks, the Commissioner of Police led the operational team to the border communities and led them to security assessment of of religious centers across the state as well, where he admonished the religious worshippers and leaders to ensure that they put their house in order. They should install CCTV cameras in their places, at least to know the movement of people in and out, to gather intelligence. And like we have always said, it is our mantra in Ondo State Police Command that security of lives and property is a collective responsibility, is a shared one. So we cannot leave it in the hands of the police alone. And that is why we have been collaborating with other security agencies alongside non-conventional security agencies like the Amotekun, the Forest Guard, the Vigilantes, and it has been yielding results for us. So we just urge the good people and residents of Ondo State to continue to give us credible and actionable information, because without them we cannot do this alone.
Okay, so you mentioning CCTV, I would like to ask, has technology, surveillance, and intelligent gathering been able to aid, this your work on criminals? When it comes to technology, something like drone, individuals have drones, so are police trying to use technology to combat these criminals too?
Of course, this is 21st century, and modern policing is hinged on community-based policing and technology-driven. And that is why in Ondo State Police Command, we have always adopted and embraced the use of technology in combating crimes and criminalities. And a testament to it again is one of the arrests we recovered, that these kidnappers were being trailed. They were being tracked down because the good people and residents of Ondo State gave us the credible intelligence and actionable intelligence that we've been working upon. So it led us to their trail to one certain hotel behind Ado Garage. And upon receipt of the intelligence, our men swung into action. And thankfully, we were able to arrest 4 of them, in which they already made useful statements, confessed to the crimes. The preliminary investigation also revealed that they have been a member of a syndicate gang that has been disturbing the Iluabo Eleyowo Ogbese axis. And in the course of investigation as well, one of the victims that was released at some point came for debriefing, and she was able to identify 2 out of those that perpetrated that act. So it was our technology, the technology-driven operations that led to that success, and we've embraced it a lot. And for the drone that you mentioned, the command is already working with the state government to ensure that we have one that will assist us in combating crimes and criminalities. But before then, we would not wait. We have continued to carry out bushcombing activities on daily basis. Just yesterday, our men were still in the bush doing combing. We cannot wait for these perpetrators of these assailants to come to us. So we take the battles to them, and it has been working for us.
Okay.
Well, let me ask about this because if you see most of those violent crimes, especially when you're talking about those that take the form of terrorism, kidnapping, and the rest, available records show that most of them are strangers to the state. There are people that come in through the borders and the rest. How are we manning our borders to ensure that if we are going to deal with crimes, let it be the one that is within us? Let it not be somebody invading or infiltrating our territory to commit a crime, and eventually some of them run away. They commit crime and retreat back to where they're coming from.
I saw a video
and
last night.
It's a big problem for us.
What he's saying now.
So how are we going to take that preventive measure to ensure that we don't even allow them in, not to talk of committing the crime?
So first of all, I will start by saying that the Ondo State Police Command is a respecter of law and constitution of the country. We cannot stop anybody just.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the criminals.
No, we cannot stop anybody from transversing or moving from any part of the state or any part of the country to the others. And that is why the Ondo State Police Command, led by the CP Adebo Lawal, PSC Dagamena IPS, himself conducted security assessment of border towns in Ondo State. So he visited all the communities that are close to that, in fact, that are bordering other states, in which he by himself and his management team address the men that are being deployed there, because we've had a lot of deployment around that axis, and on continuous basis they do screening and profiling of people that come into into the state. And anyone that has any question or any suspicious movement, suspicious activities, or that do not even have an exact place that is going to. So we do our own profiling. We call them. It is part of our job. So we've been doing that, and it has been helping us to know the inflow, the kind of people that are coming to the society. So if we talk of them coming to perpetrate crimes and go away, we have demonstrated it a number of times that you cannot come, nobody can come to Ondo State and perpetrate crime and go scot-free. We will always go track and get them arrested and make them feel the full wrath of the law. A testament to it again is a case of a case of vehicle that was stolen sometimes in Ondo State and taken to Kaduna State. Our men went there, they recovered the vehicle in Kaduna State and brought suspect back to us. And as I speak to you, the case is already in court. So we are always working. We are not just reactive, we are proactive.
And that also brings me to, before my colleague asks a question, to collaboration with, security agents in neighboring states to ensure that what you do here, at least kind of when there is need for cross-border investigation and arrest, how do you collaborate with neighboring states?
The synergy has been very fantastic since I came here. In fact, what the kind of robust interstate collaboration and cooperation that I've seen in Ondo State with the neighboring state is top notch. So we even have platform. As I speak to you, there is even that we have meetings with the Commissioner of Police of Ekiti today. So, and the meeting will be hinged on discussing the challenges and how we can combat crimes and criminalities, especially at the border town. And it does not end with Ekiti State. We've always had consistent interagency collaborations with other intra-agency collaboration and interagency collaboration, because the Ondo State Police Command has been relating with other police commands, and we have also been relating very well with the other security agencies in neighboring states. In fact, the robust synergy we've had together has necessitated us most times to exchange intelligence, to exchange suspects when it matters, and it has been working well.
Okay, so PPR, we have a slogan that says, if you see something, say something. So how have you been able to be friendly to the public in order for you to get information that will help you work properly?
I also made mention of it that the Ondo State, the good people and residents of Ondo State have been very, very cooperative. And this is not, this is because they have tested, accepted, they have tested us and accepted us in Ondo State Police Command.
Sorry for cutting you short. You see, some of us, including myself, we have phobia for the police. So now you need to build that trust that, look, if I see something, I can confidently call the Nigerian police that, look, I saw something in my neighborhood, without you exposing me or detaining me.
The phobia you just mentioned about is an historic thing. This is modern policing. This is modern, that is hinged on community policing. So we've had several community engagements with our people at the local government level, at the divisional level, at the township level. So the DPOs have also been engaging with the people. So if we have made it a core responsibility to promise anybody who comes with credible and actual information utmost confidentiality. And it has been working. And if you see from some of our statements, we put it as concerned citizens, and it has been working well. So we have always urged our good people in Ondo State that they should come up with credible and actionable information. If you get close to us, you will see that the phobia of a thing, that the fact that you come to the police station means that yes, maybe you have something skeletal in your cupboard, is an historic thing. It is not hinged on modern day policing that the Ondo State Police Command is working on.
Let me talk about this. There was, I think, sometime last week, there was an issue of people saying that the Nigerian Police Command, in Ondo State banned night activities, that created a kind of panic. But I could remember last week Friday, there were some people that had some night programs in their religious place, their worship places. They had to cancel it. The Nigeria Police has said nobody must have any night activity. Please, could you shed more light on why that release, or did it really emanate from the Nigeria Police Force?
There was no ban emanating from the Ondo State Police Command. However, the CP, in his own wisdom, has always preached peace and always put confidence in the mind of our good people and residents of Ondo State. And that is during the course of the assessment of religious centers in Ondo State, he advised and admonished our people that, especially those religious centers that are around the lonely and bushy area, isolated area, so to say, that we should just put moderation into our late night activities. There was no ban whatsoever. The command understands that everyone has the right to worship, freedom of religion and right to worship. So we have not put out any ban. But let us not forget that security of lives and property is a shared responsibility, a collective one, as a matter of fact. That it is when we put measures, security measures ourselves, to not to make oneself susceptible to these attackers. As I made mention of it before now, that these attackers go for soft targets. They go for people at the vulnerable ones, at the isolated areas, and we should also not make ourselves susceptible to their attacks. So, for example, the one that happened in Uso, the Celestial Church, you would agree with me that place is kind of in an in the bushy part. And so these attackers will come out, they will just come from the bush, perpetrate their attack and go. Before you even reach out to the security operatives, they have already gone. So we don't need to just, and that is why the CP in his wisdom advised the religious leaders and worshippers that we should please moderate the timing of our activities. We can bring it closer or bring it maybe later, or better still, they can write to us for security. So once you know that you are having activities that might require large gatherings, you can write to us. We give you security coverage.
Okay, so how important is community participation in security, and what advice would you give the community in order to help agencies to maintain security in Ondo State?
The role of community engagement in combating crimes and criminalities cannot be overemphasized. It cannot be, and that is why we said the modern day policing is hinged on community engagement. So it has been working for us in Ondo State Police Command almost on daily and weekly basis. We have the Commissioner of Police having fruitful meetings with the kings, the Royal Majesties in Ondo State, and from the office of the PPRO as well. We've been engaging with the community leaders, the Bales, the LCDA chairmans, and we've been telling them the need for collective responsibilities, and this has led to us telling our people to ensure that they initiate community security services like the vigilante services or the Amotekos and the like. If you employ them, in fact, we also urge the youths in the community that they should come up with some kind of strategies in which they can use in monitoring or accessing the kind of people that come into their community. As a matter of fact, the Nigeria police, the police officers cannot know their terrain more than they do. We cannot know all the people in those communities. So communities like that, once they have community vigilance group, they can know, okay, this is Mr. A, he usually come around this time. This is Mr. B, he doesn't, okay, he hasn't been around today. What might happen? And sometimes if you see strangers in those places, these community vigilance groups can also lead these strangers, ask them questions, or probably lead them to where they are going to, then confirm from the people. These are the little bits they can do from their own end. So community engagement and community policing, it is very, very important to the police, especially in combating crimes and criminalities.
Well, you once mentioned in the course of the interview that the Nigerian Police Force in Ondo State is going about trying to ensure that, especially religious worship centers or places of large gathering, how are we ensuring that this thing is not just, because I know some years ago that pronouncement was made, or was it made a law, that all religious centers should try as much as possible to install CCTV.
Even schools.
Not even religious centers, places that involve large gatherings, event centers, schools, places of worship, churches, mosques, and the rest. How are we working to ensure that this thing is adequately enforced? Because if it is enforced, it also makes your own job easier. Not only about people alone now who are able to monitor who comes in, it makes the job easier for you. How do we ensure that people actually abide by this, and there is a way we try to monitor their activities to ensure that everyone is involved?
So for a start, we have been going on advocacy. We've been going around with community engagement to let the people understand the importance of having these CCTV cameras installed in their places. And it is not just for the religious worship centers, like you said. It includes the public centers, any public and private structures. In fact, any structure that would require that people will come in for maybe services or activities and the likes. And by the executive order of 2022 that you just mentioned, the Nigeria Police, the DSS, the Civil Defense are mandated to make enforcement. But in Ondo State Police Command, led by the CP Adewale Lawal, we have always been going around to preach. To let the people understand the reasons and the benefit of having this installed in their places, because it is when the people understand that this is what and this is why they should have those things there. You won't even need to force them, because everybody wants security of lives and properties. Nobody wants to make it, to create a scenario or an environment whereby they will be violently attacked on a regular basis. So we've been doing our best by engaging the people.
So, sir, how does the Nigerian police ensure professionalism and accountability among the officers of the Nigerian police?
I know you. If you know the CP very well, is a very professional and dedicated officer who does not condone indiscipline of any kind, and that is why in Ondo State Police Command we have a lot of measures in which we check ourselves, we check our men where there are excesses. And you know, there is no perfect society. So even in the midst, even in your family, you would know that yes, sometimes there must always be a deviance. In Ondo State Police Command, we have several departments and formations that are saddled with the responsibilities of checking the excesses of the men, and one of it is the complaint response unit. So this is a section or a department under the Public Relations Officer's office. So it receives complaints from the members of the public. It receives complaints, and once upon receipt of the complaints, we do our due diligence by investigating thoroughly, and whosoever is found wanting is being dealt with. Another section, we have the Commands Monitoring Unit. This is a department that is saddled with the responsibilities of going around, of seeing the activities of our men on the field, to see if they are actually complying with the directives of the IGP through the CP of the command, CP Adewale Lawal. Also, we have the Provost, and those are the ones you will see with white beret and white belt. So they also saddled with the instilling of discipline amongst the members of the force in Ondo State Police Command. We also have the X Squad. So the X Squad is another arm of the command that reports directly to the CP. They also checkmate. So there is no way if you escape the Provost, you cannot escape the CRU. If you escape the CRU, you cannot escape the X Squad. So the command has put in robust measures to check the excesses of the men for those that might exhibit any behavior that warrants it.
Well, thank you very much, CP. I'm sorry.
DSP.
PPRO Bayomijimo for being our guest this morning. But we wish you could remain with us for long, but time will not permit us because the program still continues with other segments coming up shortly after now. But before you leave this program today, what will be your final word to the people out there?
So for my parting shot, I would urge the good people and residents of Ondo State that they should go about their lawful business, lawful activities. The command has put in robust measures to ensure the security of lives and properties in Ondo State is guaranteed. And we also call for call for credible and actionable information that can always assist us in combating these crimes and criminalities for the people. We promise you utmost confidentiality. Once you give us information, we will definitely act on it. And if you, in the case of emergency or any emergency response, we can always reach out to the PPRO. That is my number is on all social media platforms of the command. So it doesn't go off. It doesn't go. You can call me at any time of the day. We will respond to you as always. Thank you for the cooperation and thank you for trusting us.
All right, thank you very much for being our guest this morning, and I hope that when we invite you next, you oblige our invitation.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's been wonderful speaking with the Ondo State Police Public Relations Officer in person of Mr. Abayomi Jimo. He's been talking about several issues concerning security of licensed property in Ondo State. And right now, we're going to the next segment of this program, which is the entertainment segment. As Toluwanimi, okay, is fully ready to give you all the entertainment gist and everything you need to spice up your weekend. Please don't go away.